guys, welcome back to Joe's RC Corner, and today we were out here at the RC field and we did a little bit of flight testing here with the Radiomaster T16S radio, and it was okay. With the Spectrum receivers that have the antenna built in, the new ones for $39, they have what's called flyby telemetry, and unfortunately there is some issues with that. The flyby telemetry gets out of range fairly quickly, so it does not work extremely well with those receivers unless you turn off the flyby telemetry. Well, the flyby telemetry is kind of useless anyway. Every once in a while it tells you your RSSI and it tells you your receiver voltage. Well, in my opinion, that's kind of useless when you're flying by, so I'm not really going to worry about that too much. But we're going to get a few more hours of flight time on that receiver and transmitter with that same airplane. And as you see, it's a little windy out here, so it's packing it up for the day. But like I said, we're going to get a few more hours on it before I start putting it on something else. Radio program and everything on that T16 is actually pretty nice. I'm looking forward to the new update on the OpenTX for that receiver, or for that transmitter, and that will give me a nice update in regards to what kind of options or new options and programming on the computer. So we'll revisit that when we get that update on the radio. But until then, we're going to keep putting hours on it and testing it and making sure everything is working really well before we start adding it to any of my other aircraft that I really enjoy, such as the Super Chipmunk or the Cap 232. So an update on the Cap 232. Remember on the maiden flight, I'm not sure if I mentioned it to anybody, but I was having issues with those servos, and I'm still having issues with the servos. In fact, it almost cost the aircraft. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those servos out, and I'm going to replace those with probably a Spectrum servo or high-tech servo. I'm not sure which one. I'm doing some some compare and contrasts right now to see which one would be better for me for this aircraft, and also look at maybe relocating the tail, the elevator and the rudder servos to the tail. Shorter linkage, more robust, because I think I am getting some flex in the control rods going all the way to the back. I am using 440 steel rods, but they and they are anchored on both ends, but still seem to have a little bit of flex in them. But that's not the entire problem. That the servo itself has a lot of slop, and I can actually move the servo when they're powered, which is not right. So those Corona servos for that size, I don't recommend them for anybody putting them into an airplane of this size. They have plenty of torque, but there's something not right with them. That just leads me to believe that their quality assurance on the larger servos, they may be made somewhere else, just aren't well. Now the Corona high voltage servos that I'm running in all my small airplanes, they seem really, really good, really strong, really fast. Don't have any issues with them. I haven't had any issues with them, so I'm going to keep those ones. But for the larger airplane, I think we're going to go ahead and pull those out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. As you can see behind me, wind is blowing pretty good. I hope the sound came out okay on this recording. We'll have to come back and check it out. But yeah, so that's the update on the T16S, and we'll meet you back at the hangar. Okay, guys, so welcome back. Now we're back in the garage, and going to talk a little bit about the TX16 from Radiomaster here after bringing it out to the field and testing it out on a plane that I wasn't worried about whether I lost it or not. So without further ado, basically, so the Spectrum receivers that I have been using in the past, the new ones that Spectrum just put out, that don't have the external antennas and so on. However, they don't have full telemetry. They have what's called flyby telemetry. So that's all well and great, but this radio does not know what that flyby telemetry is. So what was happening is I was losing the telemetry link back to the radio anytime I got further than, I believe it's about 60 meters away. All in all, that's not a bad thing. I never really lost link with the radio or with the aircraft. I still had full control over the aircraft with it. But if anybody out there that has one of those multi-protocol receive or transmitters, can you help me out here and let me know, is there something in the settings that I need to change to allow it not to scream at me, basically, to let me know that I've lost a link? But like I said, I never really lost link, so I'm a little confused on it. I kind of realize that that's probably what the issue is. I did not have another receiver available to me to test out, but I've tested it on that airplane right there. It's a FMS Shrike. It's a powered glider. And once I turned off telemetry on the radio, then I never saw any issues with link. Perfect range check, no issues. Got the aircraft up probably about 400 feet altitude and within line of sight, but a little bit further outbound. And I really didn't have any issues that I could see. So I don't know. It may just be those receivers. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to replace that receiver, and I'm going to try to put in I have an FR Sky receiver, 4-channel. Work that airplane or even the my other glider that I got, and that'll be a really good range check on it by getting it up to 420 feet and kind of flying it around, see how it feels, see what happens. But if I go to an FR Sky or Free Sky receiver, I am going to have to do the fine tuning on this. So maybe I'll add that into this video. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Depends on what I'm going to be doing on it. But all in all, I mean, the feel of the radio is not bad. I am going to be changing out the tension springs because I like a little bit tighter spring, just from my perspective. I am going to be swapping this out, this switch here, the momentary sweep, to a 2 position, so I can use it for my retracts on the airplanes that I fly. And other than that, you know, the screen is very readable out in the sunlight, and I live in New Mexico. We have a lot of sun out here, and to be able to read a color LCD in the sunlight, meant you guys hit it right on the mark there. It works really nice. So just to let you guys know, sound on the speakers, plenty loud enough, and I had it about halfway. No issues there on that either. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any complaints about it yet, but like I said, I don't normally trust any of my radios until I have enough flight time on them. So I'm going to try to get a couple more hours of flight time on this radio to try to prove it out, make sure I don't have any issues. Once I get to that stage, I might try binding it to another airplane and seeing how it works, and we'll see how it goes from there. But all in all, it feels good in the hands. I like the grips in the back. I thought I was going to need to use my lanyard, but no, I didn't. I didn't end up having to use one. It worked really great, and it felt really nice in the hand, even as a pincher. So, you know, I'm not going to go out and say, go out and buy this radio for $129 yet, but it's definitely something to look at, and we'll see how it goes. The longer we have it, and the longer we fly, the more flight time we get on it. So keep watching, guys. Keep building, keep flying, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Hi guys, welcome to Joe's RC Corner, and today we're just going to be doing a quick overview of a project I've been working on for work. It's an aircraft that I built years ago, but figured you might be interested in checking out some of the video here, or some of the. But I thought you might be interested in seeing what it is and what I'm doing to it right now. All right, guys. So as you can see, this is a T-Rex 700. It's an old helicopter now at this point, but it is a T-Rex 700. I built this roughly about 7 years ago, 6 years ago, somewhere around that, and it was for a project that a friend of mine, we wanted to start a business building unmanned aircraft. So as you can see, this is it's been highly modified. It originally had a Pixhawk 1 in it, but we've since updated this baby to a Pixhawk 2. That's what I was working on today. Everything is now functioning properly. However, with the transferring the parameters from the Pixhawk 1 to the Pixhawk 2, I am running into some issues in regards to my roll. Everything else moves the right direction. I even can move it in the right direction using my controller. However, the roll is backwards, and so is the yaw. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. So tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing is flashing the firmware or the firmware to something else, and then flashing it back to the helicopter again. That way, it zeroes everything out, and then I can start over again. Now, the Pixhawk that's in this one is the orange cube. That's the newer one with the ADS-B receiver on board. Now, as you can see, there's a camera up in the front, and there's a little box right up under here underneath. Now, those two things are not part of the system. That is a detect and avoid system that we're testing. I'm not going to get into details about that due to NDAs that we have. Yeah, so like I said, so it's all set up. We've got 900 telemetry. We got the here 2 GPS unit and a secondary GPS unit. Then we have 2 battery monitors, one for avionics, and then running 2 6-cell packs. These are my older packs. I'm waiting on my new new connectors, so I can run an adapter to my new Tattoo batteries that I have for this helicopter, which are 20 amp hour batteries. Will give us plenty of flight time. Should not be any issues with flights. But yeah, so and then we're running an old FR Sky X9E. Very nice radio. Wish they came out with the Hall effect gimbals to replace these for just drop-in. However, they haven't done that, so we're still running the old standard stuff. But yeah, like I said, you know, we'll work on some software tomorrow. Try to get it all situated again and functioning, so we can take her out and do a re-maiden on it with the new autopilot. And then we'll be doing some flight testing soon with the detect and avoid system. So thanks, guys. Keep building, keep flying. If you're interested in some helicopter stuff, autonomous stuff, I do have a 450 that I can go fully in depth in the setup on, and let me know, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and see you on the next video.